There are things that feel especially wrong when they happen on a holiday. Not because they are more dangerous, but because holidays are supposed to feel safe. Warm lights in the windows, people, music coming from apartments, the smell of food in every hallway. On New Year's Eve, the world pretends that everything is good, that the past year is over, that the next one will be better. But sometimes, something from the past refuses to stay there. And sometimes, it chooses the worst possible moment to come back. This happened to me 3 years ago, on New Year's Eve. And the strangest part isn't that I received messages from a dead man. The strangest part is that the messages were telling the truth. December 31st. I always hated New Year's Eve. Everyone around me loved it. People spent days preparing for it, buying food, decorating apartments, planning parties. But for me, the night had stopped being a celebration 2 years earlier. That was the night my best friend died. His name was Daniel. We had grown up in the same neighborhood. We skipped school together, got into trouble together, made stupid plans about leaving our boring city and starting real lives somewhere else. And every single New Year's Eve, we had the same tradition. There was an old abandoned movie theater on the edge of town, closed in the late 90s. Broken windows, rusty doors, graffiti everywhere. But there was a staircase inside that led to the roof. From there, you could see almost the entire city. So every year, just before midnight, we climbed up there with cheap champagne and watched the fireworks. It felt like we owned the whole world. That tradition ended the night Daniel fell from that roof. The police called it an accident. Everyone believed that, including me. Or at least, that's what I told myself. That year, I decided to stay home. Some friends invited me to a party. They said I shouldn't spend New Year's Eve alone, but I didn't want noise. I didn't want music. And I definitely didn't want midnight to arrive. Snow had been falling all day, soft and steady. From my apartment window, the city almost looked peaceful. Streetlights glowing through the snow. People walking quickly with shopping bags. Families carrying Christmas trees. Inside my apartment, it was silent. Too silent. The TV was playing in the background. A cup of tea had gone cold on the table, and my phone was lying next to it. I kept checking the time without meaning to. 23:41, 23:47, 23:52. Every minute felt heavier than the last. At 23:58, my phone vibrated. I jumped slightly. At first, I assumed it was just another holiday message, someone sending early congratulations. But when I picked up the phone, I froze. The message was from Daniel. Not a random number, not a fake account. It was his contact, his old photo. The same conversation we had stopped 2 years ago. And at the top of the chat was a new message. Happy New Year. I'm still waiting for you. For a few seconds, I couldn't even breathe properly. The first thought was that someone had taken his old number. The second thought was that someone was playing a cruel joke. But then I noticed something else. The timestamp. The message said it was sent at 23:59, but not tonight. It said the message was sent 2 years ago, the exact night Daniel died. I blinked, closed the chat, opened it again. The message was still there. Then the phone vibrated again. Another message. You remember where we used to celebrate New Year's? My throat went dry. Of course I remembered. The abandoned theater, the roof, the fireworks, the place where everything ended. Another vibration. I'm already here. I don't know why I decided to go. A normal person would have turned off the phone, ignored the messages, stayed home. But fear sometimes pulls you toward the thing you're afraid of, not away from it. I needed to prove it was a joke. I grabbed my jacket, my keys, and left. The streets were almost empty. People were already celebrating, lights in every window, music echoing between buildings, fireworks exploding far away. It felt like the entire city was having a party somewhere else. My phone lay on the passenger seat. I tried not to look at it, but at a red light the screen lit up again. Another message. Don't be late this time. Those words made something shift in my chest. This time. Memory began creeping back in pieces. The argument, the wind on the roof, the snow, his voice. I pushed the thought away and kept driving. The theater. I reached the old theater around 017. Snow covered the parking lot. The building stood dark and silent, broken windows like empty eyes. I turned off the engine and sat there for a moment. I could still leave. I could pretend none of this was real. But my phone vibrated again. Come up. The cold air hit my face as soon as I stepped outside. Snow crunched under my boots. The front door of the theater was hanging half open, just like always. Inside, the building smelled like dust and rust. The old lobby was filled with debris, pieces of glass, broken posters, fallen ceiling tiles. I turned on my phone flashlight. The beam of light cut through the darkness, and I noticed something immediately. Footprints, fresh ones, leading toward the staircase. I followed them. The metal stairs groaned under my weight. Each step echoed through the empty building. Halfway up, I paused. For a moment, I thought I heard something above, a faint creak, then silence again. I continued climbing. When I pushed open the door to the roof, icy wind rushed toward me. The city skyline exploded with fireworks, red, gold, blue. But the roof itself was empty. Or at least it looked empty. Then I saw the footprints. They crossed the snow straight toward the edge and stopped. I walked closer, looked down. Nothing below except the quiet street and falling snow. My phone vibrated again. I opened the message. "You're late." And suddenly, I remembered everything. 2 years earlier, Daniel and I had been standing on this exact roof, drinking, talking, arguing. He told me he was leaving the city after New Year's. He had a job offer somewhere else, a real chance to start over. I should have been happy for him. Instead, I felt angry, because he was moving forward, and I was still stuck. We started shouting. The wind was strong, snow blew into our faces. Fireworks were exploding across the city. He looked at me with tired eyes and said something I never forgot. "Alex, you always blame everyone else for the fact that your life isn't going anywhere." I stepped closer. "What did you say?" "You heard me. Say it again." He shook his head. "Just forget it." And then I pushed him. Not hard, just a quick shove in the chest. The kind people do during arguments. But he was standing too close to the edge. The snow was slippery. He stepped back. His arms moved suddenly, and his expression changed. Not into fear, into surprise. Like he couldn't believe it was me. Then he disappeared. I told the police he slipped. Everyone believed me. Eventually, I almost believed it myself. My phone vibrated again. Now you remember. A sound came from behind me, a soft crunch in the snow. I turned around. No one was there. But then another sound, another step. I looked down. A new footprint appeared in the snow. Then another. Then another. They were forming one by one, moving toward me, like someone invisible was walking across the roof. I stepped backward. My breathing became shallow. Another vibration. My turn. The footprints stopped right in front of me. There was nothing there, but I felt it. Someone standing in the cold air, waiting. I stepped back again. My heel hit the edge of the roof. For the first time, I understood what Daniel must have felt. How sudden it was. How impossible it felt. "I'm sorry," I whispered. And something shoved me. Hard. Right in the chest. The world dropped away. For one endless second, I was falling. Fireworks exploding above me. The city cheering somewhere far away. And I finally understood why Daniel looked surprised that night. Because the worst part isn't dying. The worst part is realizing that the person who betrayed you was the one you trusted the most. My phone vibrated one last time as I fell. The screen lit up in my hand. Happy New Year.